You mentioned about the importance of getting that first action, done well to build your confidence. What about the other externals? Like, was your game ever influenced by the opposition fans? Could you hear the fans if they started getting on your back? Did that affect your game, or even opposition players? If you played against a certain striker that might be talking in your ear for the whole game, did that used to influence your game? Can you remember any circumstances where that was particularly, difficult?
Yeah. Look, we when I signed for Reading, obviously I wasn't playing at first, until we went to. I came on against Milo, and I came on against Milo towards the last 5 minutes of the game. In the middle of the pitch, and I remember Milo. Milo is aggressive. I mean,
Yeah,
they got a bad reputation, but you can't fault them for wanting to support their team. Sometimes they do it the wrong way, but I mean, when you play for them, you must love it. I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah,
but when you play
yeah,
against them, you must hate them.
yeah,
That's the fact.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I was at Milo, and like I was, about to come in, and even the kids like were like shouting abuse at you and everything, and I'm looking at thinking like, what the hell is that? you know, Obviously I was already in England for the last 2 years, and I know the fans are really involved, but I never played against Milo, and it was the first time. I
Yeah.
remember I came on and I was gonna go and take a throwing, and I went to get the ball. And all the fans was like abusing me and everything, kids shouting and everything, and I just smile. It's just like literally pick up the ball, looked at them, and just smile, and they start laughing. Thinking like, why is he smiling? So I went and done that, and then the first time I really come on in the game was at Ipswich when AD Williams got injured, and it was like literally third, like I would say 20, 25 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Wally say, listen, Wally was the assistant of Chico Paul. I said, God, warm up. I did no, it's not good. So I warm up for 2 minutes. They say you have to come in fast because ID and everything. So I'm like, okay, I'm coming in. The stadium is packed. Okay, the stadium is packed. Ipswich used to play with Darren Bent up front,
Yeah, yeah. Fast as
and
well, right?
Chef
Yeah.
Chikuchi.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
they were strong and everything. And I
yeah.
remember Gucci was like literally trying, going into contact with anything with his head. He was so good, and Darren was so fast. So I'm coming in, I'm thinking like, right, I'm not properly warmed up. Them two strikers are good, like literally this is a level up from the League One because they were good. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming in, all the stage and booing and everything, and I'm like, okay, tough game that game. And first header, I went in with Kuchi, but I went and won the header, but it literally took me out, literally come side on the side, hit me, and I went buff, you know, and he looked at me, smile, winked, and left. I'm looking at him thinking, all right, so it's going to be like that. Okay, no problem. It's not a problem. That's how you want to play it. We're going to play it that way, you know?
Yeah.
And I knew that he was a strong man. So I knew it's going to be a tough game against him and everything. So we started. And from there, I wasn't taking any chances. Any balls coming, boom, I kick it out. And I kicked actually a couple balls off the pitch, like off the ground. And the Ipswich fan was, every time I had the ball, like, hey! and and every time it was making me laugh, and like at the end I ended up smiling, and like Wally's looking at me, why are you smiling? So we went in half time, and Wally
Yeah.
came here. Hey, went, come here. He's like, whatever you do, you're doing it well. Keep
Yeah.
going. We don't care as long as we don't concede. We don't care. Kick them all out. But the Reading fan didn't really know me, and they were like, what the hell are we signed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every time I had the ball, even the Reading fan was like, way, ball
Yeah.
out, bang, bang. I'm like, okay, but every header and everything I was winning, and I was
Yeah.
quick also. So Darren Ben was going behind, and I think I did scare him a little bit because he saw how me and Kuchi were going into each other, and he wasn't so much someone to play with a contact game. He was someone which sharp in front of a goal and very quick. So every time I was coming at him. He was like a bit wary about what's gonna happen. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
me, it was him and Kuchi, and I needed to do my job. And the
Yeah.
first tackle was strong and everything. And so we finished the game, and I went to shake his hand, Kuchi, and he went like, he said, I'm glad to have met someone who is strong like me. I'm like, well, I think he was stronger, but it was a good game, and it was
Yeah.
actually a good game. We drew that game, and that's the first time the Reading fans really saw me play. Before that, they didn't really know what I was about. We went home, we played, and like I say, I'm not someone who's gonna take a chance. I needed to make sure that I build first my reputation into the game before I can start pretending I can do some playing, and everything. And it was hard the first few weeks with the Reading fans. I mean,
Yeah.
they were a bit like, okay, he can defend, but then every time he kicked the ball, he kicks it too long. He kicks it in the corners. He never wants to play short and everything. So I think they were frustrated. So when AD Williams came back from injury about 2 months after, um, Steve Coppell had a chat with me saying AD is coming back. I'm like, okay, he's captain and everything. He's been at the club before. He came back to the club. He played, you know, and he said, but I want to keep you in. I'm like, oh, okay. He said, I know it's hard with the fan, but you're going to win over them. You're a defender, and that's all I need. I need someone who can defend. I don't need, especially someone who can play. I need someone who can defend. Either we do, and the people around you will do the job on playing. But I know that once you get confident, your full ability will come out. And I'm like, okay, that's nice, thank you. So he went and have a word with AD, and AD said, listen, to be fair, I've been watching the games. The kids deserve to stay on the pitch, and I'm just gonna probably retire because I'm 35 now and I don't need to carry on playing. So that's how it happened. So AD literally pass on the his seat to me, and he said like,
Wow.
make sure you make good use of it.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so
I
um,
remember.
so yeah, it was tough at first, even with the Reading fans. It's not like I, I mean, they supported me because I was playing for them, but
Yeah.
I don't think they were really confident that I would develop to the player I was after that. At
Well,
first they were a bit septic.
they definitely changed their mind over time. Some,
Yeah,
didn't they?
they did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.